Ready, set, spring into your Geauga Park district with 25 accessible parks close to home. Download maps of all the awesome trails you can discover and experience breathtaking nature in no time. Begin your adventure at geaugaparkdistrict.org.
Just real quick, I just wanted to make a statement today. I was contacted last night that some of the local newspapers were putting out some kind of information based on a statement that I made at last meeting, and I think that it's a little bit frustrating on my part because of the fact that our media has our direct contacts to be able to call us at any time to clarify or to get a statement prior to be able to confirm prior to putting something in the paper. And I think that it's very irresponsible because the conversation and the statement that I had was part of a much larger conversation based on less lethal shootable situations. And that comment was directly related as a shootable situation for a less than lethal situational use. And I'm pretty disgusted with the media, with one of the reporters that was here that never could approach me to ask me for clarity on the conversation, but yet just took it upon herself to basically write an article. Very irresponsible. I've been a police officer. I still am a commissioned officer in the state of Ohio. I can tell you this, that I come from a very, very diverse community, Shaker Heights, Ohio, which I was a police officer there. That and one other thing is, I have worked with black officers, I've worked with white officers, of all the things that I'm hearing about race and all of this stuff. I take it real personal and really, really disgusted because of the fact that we are people. This is not about race. This isn't about anything other than some civil unrest that is happening of criminal behavior. And our military deserves respect. The wall that was destroyed that we were talking about that had been vandalized, gravestones of military that died for the safety and welfare and our freedom that we are here for today. They and their families deserve better. And I tell you this, I will always stand for the flag. I will kneel only to Jesus Christ. And at the end of the day, we have rules, regulations, and laws in this country. And it's a situation that I think that people have to reach an understanding in where we're at in our country and our lives today to understand that I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want to continue to see this civil unrest. I don't want to see people's businesses burned to the ground. I don't want to see people discriminated against. We've always done that. All the years of being a uniformed police officer, we never, and I can tell you never, went out on the road to say we're going to target somebody for whatever reason, religion, race, nothing. It was a matter of doing the job, something that we all took an oath to do. Are there bad apples in every field and everything out there? Absolutely. I don't care what it is. Doctors, lawyers, attorneys, nurses, police officers. You could go down the road and you're going to find somebody that is not good. But I can tell you this, I'm proud of our police officers, I'm proud of our military, I'm proud of being an American. And I think that at the end of the day, we need to all come together to be able to understand that this unrest needs to stop, and we need to understand that part of the biggest hurdle that we have is exactly what we just saw with a false report, basically, of something that I said that could not be confirmed or be able to be, officiated that this is exactly what I said, that somebody was not part of that conversation, and it was something that I directed actually with the sheriff because he was part of that conversation. And I take it real personal that if there's ever a time that something needs to get printed, you've got my number. You could call me on the night of the election to get my response, and you could call me when you have a question. I was very, very disappointed, very disgusted, and it's wrong. So with that, anybody else have any questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Anissa Smith.
Yes.
I teach at Kenston High School, and I've seen you before because I'm the PAC advisor for Candidates
Yep.
Night. And I had a couple questions because I read the article, and I would like some clarification
Sure.
on this. Commissioner, you said that I want to know, you called the kids in Chagrin Falls punks, the ones that were protesting.
Correct.
Do you know who these kids were?
Yes.
And why you would call them punks
Yes.
in Chagrin Falls?
Yes.
Who were they?
Well, it's I'm not going to put their names out, but they're a group of individuals that are known throughout the county that have done nothing but cause trouble.
Oh, really? Okay, because it's interesting that you say that, because they were some of my students, my former students, class presidents at Kenston, teachers that I know, pastors, and a school superintendent in Chagrin Falls, peacefully protesting. And that really upsets me that you would call them punks when I know them personally, and they are good kids.
They're punks.
I'm sorry, but they're my students, and they have every right to peacefully protest as your First Amendment right. Your First Amendment right, freedom of speech. They did nothing to harm anyone. They did nothing to harm. They had nothing. Do you know of any vandalism that these students and these people did in Chagrin Falls?
So I guess I could tell you this. I applaud the fact that there wasn't civil unrest there, but it was just unfortunate that we had to take the measures with our businesses to have to be boarded up.
Don't you think you jumped to fear too quickly?
No.
Because in Chagrin Falls is a small town, so you're going to completely board up everything immediately because of that fear, because of that fake news, 24-hour news cycle.
Thank you.
Okay, so could you
Appreciate
please listen, let me finish. That 24-hour news cycle is making all of us think that these horrible protests are going to happen in every county. I live in Geauga County. I've taught in Geauga County for 26 years. I don't see civil unrest occurring, and I feel that we jumped to fear way too quickly because of what we see on TV and that fake news cycle that everybody talks about. Because what are they doing? They're putting nothing but negative, because that's how they make their money.
I could not agree with you more. This is the same situation as we saw in the paper. So I appreciate you sharing my frustration, and thank you for your comments. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
State your name for the record.
My name is Kate Baker, and I am a resident of Geauga County and a parent of a high school student who has participated with other West Geauga high school students in small, peaceful protests in Chesterland asking for an end to racial justice and police brutality. It is an understatement to say that I am disappointed that our sheriff and this board are discussing using riot gear and you can clarify if you did not say this, chemical munitions against these peaceful protests.
Yes, you're incorrect with that.
Okay.
The conversation was this. Number one, we have a duty to protect our law enforcement officers in the time of crisis.
Of course.
Okay? To protect all of us. The conversation was never did it come up. Once again, irresponsible reporting of using chemical munition in Chesterland. This was a situation of purchasing riot gear, purchasing masks, purchasing chemical munitions. God forbid the time ever came to that. And that's exactly what the conversation was. And listen, I am really, happy to see you guys here, because maybe if you see how things get changed around and you see what our meetings are about, this is maybe what needs to happen, is people need to get involved so they understand what the reality of it and what we actually discuss. Because what you're saying was absolutely never discussed.
So you did not discuss funding chemical munitions?
And the sheriff is right there and he'll tell you the same thing.
I'm happy to hear that.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
No, thank you.
I would like to focus this not on inaccurate press, though. I would like to focus this
But
not
we're
on...
here because of the inaccurate press, correct?
But that's not my concern.
But am I right or wrong? You're here why?
I'm here because I'm concerned about your priorities. So
Right.
let's talk
But
about that.
you're concerned about my priorities from what? from the slanted press.
Okay.
Okay? So that's what I'm saying.
Can we make that a separate
She made
conversation so it
the
doesn't
exact
muddle my
situation, and you're making the exact situation. We're all correct in this, and I appreciate that. There was one more question.
No, I'm not done. I have more,
Okay.
I have more questions.
Sure.
Okay. And I understand your point if you were incorrectly quoted.
Yes.
So please, if I bring anything up, let me know that that was incorrect. But that, and certainly correct that, but my focus here is not on civil unrest in other places other than Geauga County. So, yeah, my focus is on your priorities and how you what you want to respond to the protest with, okay? So, and I wrote this so that I can be more clear and.
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding
Okay.
what your question is.
You said that we can all agree that these protests need to stop.
Yes.
And these citizens are practicing their constitutional right to protest in the hope of fulfilling this country's promise of equality. Equality that through history, and most recently with the murder of George Floyd, has proven not to be afforded equally to people of color. That, you say it's not about race, when in fact statistics prove it is. The number of protesters, not rioters as you call them, in this county could be counted by the dozens. They held signs and remained positive despite being provoked by passing cars. And yet, I heard the choice from this board is not to make a statement that Geauga County stands with equality for all citizens, despite their skin color. Its response is not seeking actions meant to bring confidence that policing will do all it can to hire, train, and expect fair treatment and de-escalation in crisis situations.
Okay, let me just stop you there, because we could go on till tomorrow morning. The reality is this.
And that would be okay to help your
Right.
community
And I can tell you
understand where
this.
you're coming from.
There is one of the reasons that we're not making some kind of a statement here as to how, we're to run and all of this, diversity and everything else, because that is how we run business every day. And that is how we run our lives every day. We are not here to discriminate against anybody. So why would we need to try to reinforce what we do every day as a county and what we do as a group? So you know what the problem is? The problem is that I think that there's a lot of position and situation that people like yourself, and don't take this the wrong way, but people like yourself are expecting us to basically try to address issues that we address every day of equality. We're not black, we're not white, we're not green, we're not red, we're Americans. And we're human beings that live every day in this country. And at the end of the day, that is what we're about. We are not about having to say that we, promote this or promote that. We promote that every day. And I have been promoting that for the past 8 years as a commissioner, for the past almost 30 years as a police officer, and for the past 50 years as a person, that my parents raised me right. So is there anybody else that would like to say?
I'm still not done.
You're done.
That's right.
Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
I'm Jennifer Hipes. I'm in Geauga County in Auburn Township.
Sure.
And it's interesting to hear all this because I'm going to piggyback on it. And
Sure.
appreciate hearing from you firsthand for the first time.
Yeah, no, thank you for
So
coming.
listen, I love America, red, white, and blue. That's who I am. I hear that's who you are too. And I'm proud to be a member of a community that feels the same way. So piggybacking off of that, I'm here because I understand that you have responsibilities on the various departments that had to come in and report today.
Yes.
And I really like what you just said about equality and equal justice is something you talk about and live every single day. So I want to ask you if it's possible then for us to consider putting together another community board representation group, like how you have here reporting to you. I understand they're paid officials, but couldn't we have a community relations board that is actively pursuing some measures of dialogue, communications, police with people, blue and black together, blue and red, blue and Polish, blue and, whatever you are together. Can't we be a leader in our state? Can we be a leader in the nation to say, you know what? We're going at this a different way. This is America anew, not new, unnude America. And it is loud and clear we have problems. Our police department's getting hammered for it. Our people are getting hammered for it. And you know what? We need the good stuff to come out, gather around you, and you gather with it and form a community to make a movement that is more proactive than reactive, or in preparation, choosing reactive methods to de-escalate a potential fight,
Listen,
war.
I couldn't applaud you more. At the end of the day, I think that this is exactly our message. You know, we stand behind everyone, and it's.
I believe that.
And what you're saying is 100% right. You know something? Take our sheriff's office, for example. These are guys that have families that live in our community.
Absolutely.
That the same school that
We
you,
couldn't
that
agree
you
with
teach
you
at.
more in that. We
are-
appreciate everything that the sheriff's
So
department
what you're
does.
saying is you are totally right. And once again, we have a situation where I would tell you that it would be virtually impossible to find a police officer in this country that's going to support what happened to George Floyd.
I agree.
Well, then say that.
So-
Say that. That would be great to say.
I just
that.
said it. I
Yeah,
just said it.
that's
And I don't
great.
think that any
And
police
we've
officer
been saying
would
that
say
for
that.
months.
You know,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, it's like this. Two wrongs don't make a right. So we understand that that's a bad situation. But all of a sudden, how about all these people that have been injured, killed because of this?
But you can
Police
be a
officers
person
killed.
who believes in both of those things. I completely support police and what they do. But I also am very concerned about some of the injustices that are occurring. We can be a visionary of both of those things. You can believe in both of those things.
Listen.
If I may finish.
Sure, one more thing, and then I'm gonna have to tell you to sit down, so.
Oh, I get to go? Okay.
Sure.
So what I want to end with is saying it's a visibility issue, and I know you do the Maple Leaf.
Yes, you do.
I don't know what other papers you do.
We really don't have a good paper in this county that
And
reports the
maybe,
good news.
and I don't know who your communications relations person is. I don't know, do you have an outreach person?
Just so
I mean,
Yeah.
we have,
So our outreach person perhaps.
Jerry
could-
Morgan is
Hey,
our
miss.
county administrator.
Hey, miss.
just so you all are aware, there is somebody doing that is Facebook Living all of this conversation.
I'm sorry.
In front of you, just
So-
so you are all aware.
Okay, so all I'm suggesting, my final note is as you move forward and you put these proactive and progressive steps in place, make it really visible. Make it really, really visible so the public's hearing about it.
No,
And you
thank
get more
you.
support.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sure, ma'am.
My name's Lindsay Pollock, and I guess my concern is hearing you say everything you've just said about living that life every day and believing that and having that continually implemented. But then the very first thing you responded when she started speaking was that the people at the protest were punks. So I'm curious, as a leader for the county, and making a statement like that, first of all, what made you think that? And then also, why?
I'll answer this like this and save you a lot of time. The situation is this, is I know of, and I had some previous conversations with some people, and that was, the whole thing about the chemical munitions. And there were two people specifically that are major instigating punks. Bottom line, punks.
Were they at the
Yes,
protest?
they
Wait, can I just?
Why are you?
Wait. Can I have this first?
Create a problem, okay? And listen, none of us are against any kind of peaceful protest. But when you put some punks like that into it to try to start problems, that's exactly what they're gonna say. And I'm not gonna rescind what I said.
Why don't you
Let's
say
say two
those
punks.
two people were
are
punks?
punks.
Yeah.
Not the whole group.
I think that is part of the problem, though, because when you make a statement like that,
I understand.
that's generalized, it's really hard for the audience to know.
And I will take your information.
And I think,
I'm a teacher. That's who I am.
wait, I'm sorry, I had one more thing to say. So the response to that is that it's important to make sure that it's clear what you're stating, especially in a leadership position, right?
And I think that what you need to also say is it's important that the media states the truth
Absolutely.
when they're saying.
100%. Wait, you guys, hold on. Can I have the floor? Okay.
I don't know if they'll retract it. You know, something it's a very one-sided situation in this, like.
But so even here today, I just want to make sure that you realize the responsibility you hold in addressing and making sure it's clear to those of us present that that's.
The thing is, we don't have the control of controlling what.
No, but I'm saying even when you just said, yeah, they are punks, and then it took me to ask the question for you to clarify that it was only 2 people, not the crowd of 100 people or whatever was there. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention.
Questions, so you're done.
Okay.
I live in South Russell.
Yes.
And South Russell will not recognize the POW MIAs.
I'm sorry, what's
They
his
won't
name?
recognize the first,
I can't remember
first
his first
responders.
name.
They refuse to fly the flag.
You didn't say your name.
Chagrin Falls and South Russell. My children and grandchildren both went to school in Chagrin Falls. And I'm upset because they won't show the POW. 58,000 men died in Vietnam. I was there at the time, and nobody cared.
So can I tell you something? Let me just stop there, because I heard you last week talking about this, and I think you all got your
it's still the
point.
same. They won't put the flags
I
up.
totally agree with you. So what I can tell you is this lady that's sitting next to you with that patriotic shirt on, she is exactly the person that you need to talk to and have her organize something to go in to talk to those city officials, because that flag should fly, and it should fly high.
I can take care of it myself.
Thank you.
I don't need any.
Well, I'm just saying, if you do, she's there for you.
Thank
So
you.
with that, I request a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second. Amended. Approved. Done.
As a point of information, is it within the setup of the way the meetings work that it's your discretion? Okay. Yeah, just as a point of information. Okay.
You go in to see Mayor Coombs. Where does it hang in Chagrin Falls?
That just really, as a pastor, teacher, that really hurt.
The American flag, the POW MIA flag.
To serve the people of Geauga County because it's where I've grown up my whole life. Literally, there's not one road in Geauga County that I haven't worked on. I have a lot of memories through the county, and I see it every day. So you take pride in somewhere where you came from. That's what you're about. It's my job.